Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. Man, that's never gonna just slide off the tongue, but that's what we're here for. And yes, I said where because my name is Wrestling Chris G from Sports Entertainment Breakdown, and my co-host for this show is good old Dougie Fresh. How you doing, man?
I'm the Metapod to your Caterpie.
Yes, you are. There you go.
But yeah, and I meant to say this last week. You have nailed the title of this show twice in a row.
As in what?
Well, you nailed it. You didn't stumble, because I think we had a bit of trouble on the pilot.
Yes.
and you haven't stumbled for 2 consecutive shows. So
I don't think I ever will, because if I stumble, we're restarting the recording. People are like, hey, that's cheating.
Yeah, well, it's our show.
But yeah, that's what we're here to do. And as we alluded to in the intro, this is Every Pokemon Episode Ever, your weekly dose of us actually sitting down, watching, and reviewing every single Pokemon episode ever. We didn't talk about that on episode 2, but man, I mean, this is going to be a long journey, bro.
Yeah, we'll probably never finish.
Ever.
Ever. I mean, which is fine, because it's, job security, but, but it's good though. It's fun to go back and watch these.
Watch them as adults.
With fresh eyes, but hopefully more developed thought processes.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so nice little 20-minute chunks that turn into about hour and 10 minutes or so. So,
but this is episode 3. In the U.S., it was called Ash Catches a Pokemon. In Japan, it was translated to I'll Get You, Pokemon.
Don't like that at all. Don't like. I haven't liked it since you said it last week.
It's just that's a weird title in Japanese.
It doesn't fit with the tone at all. Like, Ash is not Cruella de Vil.
No, at all. But I mean, in a way, I mean, I guess he does get you Pokemon in this episode. I mean,
yeah,
we'll get into
but you wouldn't put "I'll get you Pokemon" on a T-shirt.
I would.
Tell me you were rooting for DeVille to turn those Dalmatians into a coat too.
Hey! Well, when the fur feels nice, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I can still leave the show. It's only been 2 episodes.
So, hey, you brought it upon yourself. But in Japan, this episode aired April 15th, 1997, and good old here in the United States. This episode aired September 10th of 1998, and which brings us to our segment on this show called What Happened Today? So, well, I think that's what we're calling. Is that what we're calling, or are we just calling it whatever each week?
I don't know. I think it's whatever hits.
What happened today?
And if we hit on one that we really like, we'll mark it.
So, all right, we will start with the one furthest away. In 1991, rock band Nirvana released their single "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Great song.
Good song. Yeah, great.
You know immediately what it is from Jump. One of those songs that, personally, I'll probably never skip it if it comes on shuffle on Spotify. Just a great song.
You
that
see, it's times like this that if things weren't copywritten and the world wasn't just all shitty right now, I would love to just throw in like a 30-second jingle, like right behind us talking, so you can hear what this song is if you're not familiar with Nirvana.
if you're
I mean,
not familiar with Nirvana,
I mean, listen to a lot of teenagers these days. They don't know shit.
oh, they don't know good music for shit anyway.
I mean, they're taking a lot of songs that me and you grew up with and throwing them on TikTok, a whole lean with it, rock with it, which was a two-step move, turning it into like a 20-step thing. And I'm just like, well, what the fuck? I'm not doing a shuffle to the word shake. I'm just not doing it. I'm not gonna go down that route.
Just not having it.
No.
But yeah, this was the lead single on their second album, which was self-titled.
Nirvana.
Just just a seminal rock song. Just it's been covered.
Everywhere.
It's been covered by everybody. Some good, some bad. I mean, you could just have fun and Google, "Smells Like Teen Spirit" covers, and just you can be impressed 1 minute, and then you click on one, and you're like, why did this person record this in their garage?
Which brings us to our second moment. On this day in 1993, The X-Files was created and made its debut on Fox.
Yeah,
So,
and I believe this was like Fox's first attempt at like
sci-fi.
like a prestige like sci-fi program. Obviously, I'm familiar with the characters of Mulder and Scully, played by David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. Never really watched the X-Files. Like, I was aware of it.
Same here. I mean, I've seen the movie
Right.
or movies because I guess there was like two. I guess one. I don't know. I mean,
They
I
had
saw.
one recently, didn't they?
Yeah, they had one recently, and I think they had a big special years ago on a reboot. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I was watching, but yeah.
I think it was kind of like a Monster of the Week thing. Like, they'd be hanging out at the office, and they'd be like, "Oh, this monster is in Central Park," and then they chase it for 40 minutes.
Your version of Tales of the Crypt.
I mean, basically, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and you're dealing with 1993 special effects. I think you kind of hit it on the head. The show is more revered than the movies. And Duchovny and Anderson have gone on to act in other things, but they're kind of always going to be tied to Agents
The
Mulder and
X-Files.
Scully. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's about as good as you're gonna get for the history for on this day. But after this, we have a Who's That Pokemon of this episode, and it was good old cute little Caterpie, which Misty is terrified by.
Yes, and once again, obviously this is only the third time we've done it, but for the third time in a row, this is topical. Did we have a discussion? I can't remember if it was on the show or not, about the first time they did a Who's That Pokemon, and it was a Pokemon we hadn't seen yet?
Possibly.
Because I feel like that shouldn't happen right away.
No, it shouldn't. And they kind of keep this theme going with Pokemon that's in the episode as to that's who's that Pokemon of, but they definitely don't do that shit anymore.
No.
I'm sitting here watching an episode. I think the more recent was an episode that I was watching, and they actually had Charizard in the damn episode, and it was Charizard on the damn poster. So other than that, I mean, they don't really keep to that theme later on.
Which
And
doesn't make sense, because theoretically, the first 150.
you should be quizzed on what you're watching to make sure you're paying attention.
Well, the kids didn't have an attention. I mean, they don't have one now.
No, but if you're watching an episode, a 20-minute episode of something, and there's a who's that character moment, and it's a character on the episode that you're watching, you should be able to tell who the damn character is.
Especially because on this one, they literally had a shot of it before they went to break.
Yes. And not even just that, but they have a shot at him right at the beginning. And the title of the episode is Ash catches a Pokemon. What was the Pokemon that Ash caught?
Well, that's a trick question. He caught 2 of them.
Yeah, true. But did who's that Pokemon really look like a damn Pidgeotto?
It could have been. You don't know. You don't know watching this.
All right, I guess.
Like an ink blot test. You don't know.
So.
But yeah, this literally did start right where we left off with episode 2.
Yes, it did.
Ash is having a goddamn showdown at the OK Corral with his Caterpie.
And yeah, that's how we opened the episode. So this one did not have a recap of the previous episode.
It did
so
not.
I mean, but I am going to quote this as we are not done with recaps as of yet. But as of right now in this episode, we did not get the recap.
Right.
So yeah, Ash starts this episode off, and Ash is like, Caterpie, you're mine, and throws the Pokeball at Caterpie. And great animation for Caterpie turning into like a red glob and going into the Pokeball, and the whole waiting to find out if he caught it.
Now, if you're a trainer, right, and you throw a Pokeball at a Caterpie, if a Caterpie breaks out of a Pokeball, I'm leaving. I'm going home because, Misty basically dunks on him 5 minutes later and is like, you caught a Caterpie because it's a weakling.
Yeah.
And if a Caterpie breaks out, I'm going home. Especially if I'm Ash. I've had a hell of a day and a half. I don't need this shit. I'm just trying to get my footing. I'm trying to catch this Caterpie, and this Caterpie wants to be a smartass. I'm going.
So what you're telling me, Doug, is if you are an actual Pokemon trainer and a Caterpie broke out of your Pokeball, you're just saying, okay, my day is fucked today.
Yeah, I'm going home. I might start tomorrow. I might not. I might see what's on TV. I don't know.
You're like, yeah, my day's not going to go the way I want it today. I'm not going to waste all these Pokeballs. But in the actual Pokemon world, you use a Pokeball. Has it ever been established if they can reuse the same Pokeball that a Pokemon broke out of? Or does that Pokeball get deactivated and they're not able to catch any Pokemon with that ball anymore?
Well, I don't know, because obviously we had Ash and Pikachu playing volleyball in front of Professor Oak's office in the pilot, but the ball was never open to attempt to catch Pikachu. It was basically just Ash throwing the ball at him. It never activated itself.
I guess that's a mystery that me and you are going to have to kind of have to unravel as seasons go on.
Well, yeah, because we'll get into it in a minute, because we might have our answer when he attempts to wrangle this Pidgeotto,
but funny. Okay, we'll get into it, but yeah, he finally catches Caterpie, and Ash gets just this smug look on his face. He runs over to the Pokeball. He's like, I caught it! Yeah!
He won the Super Bowl, apparently. He basically he did everything except an end zone spike.
I know. He did a pose and everything, and I'm looking at all these stands that he does. Like he dances around Misty. There's one shot like that I just paused it right now where Pikachu's just looking at him. Ash is on one knee presenting the Pokeball to Misty basically. And it looks like he's asking Misty to marry him in this pose. I'm just cracking up right now. He's just cocky ass. Nothing can be any better than what's happening right now because he caught a damn Caterpie.
And you also got a really cute animation of Pikachu following Ash and Misty's do-si-do until he gets too dizzy and passes out, and then that's where we get the title card.
Yes.
I was like, that's cute.
So from here, after we get the title card, we go straight into Misty just like already. It seems like that's her theme. Like she berates like Ash.
Well, yeah, I mean, and, fair play, because at this point, even though it's never really explained as to why, I mean, obviously it's the bike thing, because it's brought up again. But the episode starts and Misty's just right behind Ash, just, alright.
Just following him.
And I mean, I get she's trying to keep him on, well, not on the straight and narrow. She doesn't care what happens to him. I think if there would have happened to have been a bike shop next to the Pokemon Center, and Ash would have had the money, I think Misty would have gotten a bike and fucked off. Like, honestly.
I think so too. Like, I don't think that Ash and Misty are in the stage yet where they're into like the whole romance thing or whatnot. Like, I honestly think that Misty is a lonely girl. She's a 10-year-old lonely girl. She ran away from her sisters and she finally found someone that she can cling to that's her age and they just have similar interests.
I don't know about all. There's a moment at the end of this episode where I'm like, oh, you're kind of planting seeds here, aren't you?
Yes, and we'll get into that. But I'm talking like beforehand.
Oh no! Before this, it was just I want my bike back. This punk broke my bike, and I'm gonna make sure he's not gonna run off on me.
Yes, but it's just funny because Misty is so creeped out, and this is when we find out again that Misty just hates all bugs. It doesn't matter what type of bug you are, she would discriminate against you in an instant. She just does not like you. She hates you. And the Pokemon Caterpie is inside of the Pokeball, and Ash puts it right up to her face, and she just cringes.
I mean, she's having none of it. It's a bug. Everybody has their things they don't like. For me, it's carrots, peppers, and bugs. And,
yes.
Fuck them. And Ash is just, he's completely goo goo gaga. He's like, this is my new friend. You're going to have to get along. He wakes up Pikachu and is like, hey, I got you a friend. And Pikachu, once again, is cute. He sniffs the ball. He gives an approving Pika. It's like, that's fucking adorable.
And I mean, we'll get into this like going forward, but I kind of feel bad for Caterpie because Caterpie is just a sweet little bug Pokemon, and Misty is having none of it, and she is mean to Caterpie.
It's not like she's afraid. She's berating Caterpie, and fucking you see Caterpie basically makes, because Ash is like, well, I have a new friend. This new friend needs some air, and he calls out Caterpie, and Caterpie basically makes a beeline for Misty. And is, rubbing up on her leg. And Misty is just about having a goddamn heart attack.
And she runs away and goes like a yard away behind a tree.
And fucking poor Caterpie hangs his head, and Pikachu has to give him the old there. And Misty's like, well, I'll hang out with Pikachu. You can hang out with Caterpie.
Yeah, but she calls Caterpie disgusting. She's like, get this disgusting thing away from me. And I just felt so bad because Caterpie is just a baby.
Oh, yeah. I had a moment where, because my whole thing was, the first couple episodes of this show, Ash is a complete entitled dick. But then you watch this one, and it's fucking. How far is it? It's fucking 5 minutes into the episode, and Misty's just being a mega bitch
Yeah.
to this little freaking Caterpie that just wants some loving. And
Yeah. And she is so mean to the point, and just like you were just saying, like she grabs Pikachu and is just rubbing on Pikachu, showing Pikachu all the love in the world, and Pikachu is loving the attention, but not really realizing what's going on. And Caterpie is just like, oh, I want to be rubbed like that.
well, and there's a moment here which I really liked because Ash is like to Caterpie, he's like, come onto my shoulder. We don't have to worry about Misty. So Caterpie crawls up, and Ash is like, well, we're just gonna leave Misty behind. And Ash and Caterpie leave, and Pikachu, to his credit, doesn't hesitate because he knows he has to go with Ash.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I mean, I gotta. It's not even like I gotta go. It's like I'm going because that's Ash, So
So
they're gone, and Pikachu, stops and points, and is like, hey, she's behind us. And Misty, ducks behind a tree and is like, well, I'm not following you. It's just the quickest way out of here.
yeah, but she still hasn't gotten her bike back, which is going to be the running theme. Ash never gave her back. Still to this day, he's never given her back that damn bike.
Oh, that's next. I mean, he's won the Pokemon League. About a year or so, we'll probably find out about his father, and then I'll bet you that'll be the finale. She finally gets a new bike.
Do you think Ash and Misty finally get together at some point?
I don't know about all. I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, as a 10-year-old watching the show or whatever, maybe that's in the back of your mind. Well, these are the two title characters. They need to be together.
But Ash gets so many followers to follow him on his journeys now. It's kind of hard to make that decision now.
Well, and it's like, if you apply that, you can't apply that logic everywhere because in Harry Potter, maybe I shouldn't because I don't know.
No, you can go down that rabbit hole.
No, because I don't know.
Because we know what happens with Hermione.
Well, we do, but suppose some kid stumbled on this and said, "Oh, I like Sports Entertainment Breakdown," and they're doing a Pokemon podcast, but I haven't read Harry Potter. I'm not going to do it.
Harry Potter does not end up with Hermione.
Oh, you're ruthless.
If you don't know what the story of Harry Potter by now, I mean, God, you're just go watch the great movies and
fuck it.
And read the books and
read the books and see the movies if you have time.
Yeah, well, I would say the books kind of follow the movie like more towards the last three movies. But everything else before that was kind of tongue in cheek.
I saw two of the movies.
Oh, wait a minute. You still haven't seen all the movies of Harry Potter?
And I have no intention to.
Man.
Because I read the book.
All right.
I saw the first one, didn't care for it. You dragged me to 7 part 2.
Yes, I did.
You're like, it's our childhood. I said, my childhood was done when I read the 7th book.
Well, it was a good movie, right?
It was all right.
So, all right. Well, back to the episode. Ash and Misty are arguing because Misty's still following Caterpie and she's still being mean.
And Pikachu kind of has this moment of, God, I don't like when Mom and Dad fight.
Yeah. And Pikachu is just looking back and forth like, well, gosh. But yeah, as we get further, the next scene, Caterpie is out of his or her. Actually, it is a him.
Because we find,
yeah, it is because we find out in the next episode, which I'm not going to ruin. But yeah, it's a he. Pikachu is a he as well, and both Pokemon are sitting outside of their Pokeballs, and the Pokeball is sitting right next to Caterpie. Where the fuck is Pikachu's Pokeball?
Well, he never had one.
It did, but
Well, no, I mean it had the special Pokeball with the lightning bolt, right?
yeah, it
But
came
then
out of it.
right, but that specific Pokeball never left the lab.
True.
Ash was just trying to get him in one
A regular Pokeball.
to avoid getting attacked by the Spearow.
Hmm.
So Pikachu's just kind of out and about. Um,
But
and
but yeah, they're sitting at a fireplace. The Pokemon are outside of their Pokeball and or a fire pit, and um, Ash is in a sleeping bag, which I don't see how he fits that entire sleeping bag in that little ass backpack, along with all the extra clothes that he needs.
it's a magic backpack.
Yes, but he's laying down and he's like, "All right, everybody, good night. I hope you have a good nap." And then all of a sudden, you hear Misty in the background. She's like, "Yeah, we'd all have a good nap if you would just shut up." And, and they all look up and they look over the log, and there's Misty's hair just right there.
So yeah, she's still globbing onto him, so she doesn't have a leg to stand on here.
No, because she's sleeping right next to Misty. I mean, right next to Ash.
Well, I mean they're separated by a log, or a stump rather.
Stump, yeah. What the fuck happened to that stump?
Uh,
Just saying.
well, lumberjacks, I don't know.
But this next scene is so significant to me, bro. Because this is the first time that they actually initiate like Pokemon talking to each other.
Well, this is Pikachu's really first opportunity to talk with another Pokemon because this is Ash's first catch. Because
Yes,
obviously Pikachu's not going to carry on a conversation with the Spearow as they're running for their lives.
for real.
But yeah, this was just, I mean, it was just Caterpie and Pikachu, and they were just in deep conversation.
Yeah, like they were having a fun conversation at once, and then it seems like towards the end of the conversation, they talked about aspirations while looking up at the moon, and like it seems like Caterpie has all these like wishes that he wants to do like later on in life.
Yeah, I mean, there's a real good shot of the moon from Caterpie's eye.
And he's imagining himself as a butterfree flying up to the moon.
And I'm like, that's a good shot.
It is. I mean, they put a lot of thought into this, and then you come back to the realization, and Caterpie looks over at Misty and just gets sad again.
Yeah, he loves her.
Yeah, he does.
He's just smitten. And I forget for the longest time Ash doesn't get out of his sleeping bag because Misty screams him awake, and there's a good like scared Pikachu jump, and Ash is just in his sleeping bag being like, I am sick of you berating Caterpie. This is ridiculous. And Caterpie
He's just sleeping right next to her.
and Caterpie's just had because Misty wakes up and just yells at him again, and Caterpie's had it to the point where he's like, I'm a head out, and
I
go
know.
and he puts himself in the Pokeball.
I feel so bad for this Caterpie in this episode like has me all in my feelings for this Caterpie.
Well, Misty's just a bitch, and
I know.
that's the extent of it. And and Ash is like, I understand you don't care for it, but this is ridiculous. I'm not getting rid of Caterpie, so you better just knock it off. And then, you know, like I said,
That is a really good animation. Like as Caterpie is going over towards the Pokeball, Ash is on the ground in his sleeping bag and never leaves the bag and is just scooting along with Caterpie as Caterpie is going to the Pokeball.
right.
That is such good animation.
And then we have we have the Pidgeotto make an appearance,
Yes.
and Ash is like, well, I'm clearly on a roll, so I might as well just catch this Pidgeotto while we're here. And he throws it, and Pidgeotto's like, nah,
I'm good.
I don't want to be. And he literally just swats it away with one wing. And then Misty, that's where she's like, you caught Caterpie because it's a weakling, but you have to battle these which I feel like the Pokédex said in the pilot.
He did, but actually, okay. So he doesn't immediately throw the Pokeball at
The hell he
Pidgeotto.
doesn't.
Oh, yes, he does. Yes, he does. And but then Misty's like, you need to battle the Pokemon. And so he throws the Pokeball and he throws this damn Caterpie to battle a Pidgeotto. I'm like, what the hell? Like, can you not put logic together that Pidgey will eat your Caterpie in the dark version of Pokemon?
Yeah, like,
Pikachu even has a dumbfounded look, like I am Pidgeotto's weakness. Like, what the fuck?
and that's the act break. Like they throw it, and then it's just Pikachu going, and that's the act break. So yeah, fucking Caterpie gets housed by this Pidgey, and he gets chased, and then he gets quick attacked up to a tree, and Ash has no choice but to call Caterpie back, obviously, and then because the frickin' Pidgeotto's going for a kill shot, but it gets stuck in a tree.
That was hilarious. Just goes down for a peck and just pecks the damn tree, and Pidgeotto's like, fuck.
And this is where I get frustrated again. Because
Right.
Ash, wakes up and goes, oh, I'll send Pikachu out there, who's clearly 2 or 3 times better than it should be at this stage. And he sends him out there and throws up a Thunder Shock. And as Pidgeotto is being electrified, Ash throws this ball.
Yes.
That's dirty pool.
That is not dirty pool. I would do the same thing.
That's dirty pool. You let the Thunder Shock take its effect, and then because you don't know if that electricity is going to transfer into the Pokeball, and then you open that Pokeball and you just have a deep fried Pidgeotto.
So Pidgeotto's just inside of the Pokeball, just getting fried until it gets released again.
Right.
That's kind of fucked up. That's some dark thinking.
Well,
but yeah, he catches Pidgeotto and asks like, yeah, I'm the best. And Misty's like, no, you're the worst. You sent your damn Caterpie out there to go and battle that damn Pidgeotto.
yeah, and by the way, fuck this. Because there ain't no such thing in the games as a wild goddamn Pidgeotto.
Oh, the fuck there isn't. Yes, there is.
Well, there wasn't when it was original.
Get far enough in the game and get deep enough to a random grass patch and you'll find a damn Pidgeotto. It was Pidgeot that you could never fucking find because you had to train your damn Pidgeotto all the way up to a damn fucking Pidgeot, and by the time you got a Pidgeot, you don't even want Pidgeot in your damn party anymore.
Well, no, you evolve them and then you ship them out for something else.
Yeah.
Because you need the stats. But yeah, he catches the Pidgeotto, and he has won the Super Bowl at this point. Like,
he's just having a ball, and Misty is having none of it. Like, this is Misty's role in season 1. She just, anything Ash does to get on a high, she has to bring him back down to earth. She talks about how he threw his Caterpie out there, that he's not a real trainer, and that he's lucky basically that he has Pikachu to send the Thunder Shock to catch the Pidgeotto, and that he still owes her a bike, and just, God, Misty, shut up.
and yeah, he basically says as much. He's like, look, I'll square you with the bike soon enough, but you just gotta knock it off.
And then from here, we get the infamous Team Rocket again. with only 7 minutes left in the damn episode.
Yeah, they had no faith in Team Rocket here.
No, they didn't. And they do their whole spiel that you heard us do in episode 2, so we're not going to do it again.
Yeah.
But it's funny watching these first few episodes because this was before Team Rocket had the agenda that they wanted Pikachu. Like, that's their whole goal, was just to catch Pikachu.
I mean, they said it here.
Yes.
They're like, your Pikachu is obviously special, and Meowth is like, we had that run-in the other day.
And you got lucky, but you're not going to be lucky anymore.
Right. And then that's when
Meowth kind of just goes banana shit on their face and just does the scratch tack all over them.
he's, quit giving away our plan.
Yeah.
And then James throws out Coughing, and Coughing does sludge right into Pikachu's eyes.
Yeah, just blinding Pikachu.
I mean, that's dirty pool. So Pikachu is out of commission, and
Can't see.
he's like, well, shit, I can't use Caterpie. So he has to think about, and then he's like, oh, right, I just caught a Pidgeotto.
Yes.
I was like, you dummy. So
well, it's that, and he was asking Misty to hold Pikachu, and it's like Misty was scared to just hold Pikachu while he battles off Team Rocket.
It's like, hold the damn mouse. Like,
yeah, it's like she's stunned as to what's going on. But yeah, he sends out Jesse sends out Ekans, and Pidgeotto and Ekans are battling. Ekans does dig, then Coughing does sludge, and Pidgeotto is just a G. He's just dodging all those sludge attacks like a freaking pro. And then here comes Ekans coming out of the ground from dig to try to get Pidgeotto, and Pidgeotto just flies straight up into the air.
Yeah, I mean, Ash is kind of a dope. Because he's like, well, the Pokemon League rules say only 1v1. And Misty's like, well, they're clearly not playing by the rules, so what are we doing?
And this is what I kind of had a problem with. So as soon as he doesn't send Caterpie out right away to do any type of battling, and Team Rocket is sitting here like, oh, we're gonna get a Pokemon, and fucking Ekans and Coughing just wreck shop on Pidgeotto as Pidgeotto's flying up in the air from Ekans' dig, right. And Ash has to say, Pidgeotto, come back, and he calls Pidgeotto back, and this is when Ash goes in to like try to fight Team Rocket like with his fists.
And he just gets flicked away real quick.
Yes. And James is looking at Ash like, what the fuck are you doing, kid? I'm not about to fight you.
I'm not going to get my hands dirty.
So, but yeah, he flicks Ash back, and Team Rocket is just sitting there with their Pokemon, and they're basically saying, okay, hand over your Pokemon. And Pikachu just starts crying.
Yeah, Pikachu, like, it's a mixture of I'm upset and I kind of want to go, and then Misty's like, well, no. And then wipes his eyes, which probably wasn't the best for it.
No. And you know what I'm kind of like mad about during this whole instance? Why isn't Misty throwing out any of her Pokemon during this battle?
As far as we're concerned, she only has that damn goldfish, and that's not going to do anything.
Yeah, but come to find out later on, like if I found out later on that she was holding a damn Staryu and a damn Pokeball this entire time, I would have been like, what the hell were you doing when we were battling Team Rocket?
Oh, what's a Staryu going to do? They're in the middle of the woods.
It doesn't matter. Staryu acts like a damn human. It goes, huh, and just flies out of nowhere.
I just got the image of you, because this is obviously An audio podcast. I just imagine you going, huh? Kind of like the Iconics.
I kind of did it with my fist up in the air, but yeah, you get the picture of what I was doing. But Ash sends out his Caterpie, right?
Who has had a day.
Yes. And immediately this Caterpie gets laughed at by Team Rocket, like by all three of them. And Caterpie is just getting pissed. And here comes Ekans coughing, and Caterpie is covering his head. He's like, what the hell am I supposed to do with these Pokemon that a Pidgeotto couldn't do? And just, I feel horrible.
Well, you do, and then, Ash mutters the magic words, do String Shot, and apparently String Shot is goddamn impenetrable.
For real.
Because he just mummifies this coughing and this Ekans, and Meowth steps up, and he doesn't even get a chance to raise a claw,
and then he goes up and just tackles the mess out of Coughing, and Coughing runs into Ekans, and then they both go flying over into a tree. And I'm just like, okay, well, damn, Caterpie is pretty strong.
And, obviously Ash is on some real kumbaya shit. With the whole, just try your best, and if you do your best, then we'll be the real winners and all this stuff.
And that's what Ash lives by.
And they send Team Rocket packing, and Caterpie is a weird mix of exhausted and excited. Ash looks at Misty and goes, well, you have to thank Caterpie because he saved the day. And she's getting ready to give him a little pat on the head. And then, because I'm sitting there, because it's been a while since I watched this episode, obviously. So I was watching it. I'm going, in the game, if a goddamn Caterpie just knocked back an Ekans and a Coughing, it would probably be enough to evolve. And then, lo and behold,
he starts to evolve away.
He starts to evolve like immediately. And, you get a Metapod.
And this was a cool way that Caterpie evolved. Like Caterpie just starts spitting out his String Shot into the air, and as he's sending out his String Shot, Ash puts him on the ground, and he kind of mummifies himself, and then all of a sudden he glows, and there's Metapod.
And then we get a look back at Caterpie on that stump. It's like, oh, it all makes sense, and then. Ash is a dick again because he's like, you were about to apologize to old Caterpie,
but you can apologize to Metapod now.
And she's like, look, she's like, I don't know, and then a goddamn Beedrill flies by her, which, in all fairness, would petrify me.
It would scare the mess out of me too, because in my eyes, a Beedrill can kill you.
And she says, well, I'll do whatever you want, just get me out of here. And Ash is like, well, no, there's more Pokemon to catch, and they run off. But I do want to backtrack for a second.
Okay.
Because Ash is kind of hugging on the Metapod, and him and Pikachu are having a gay old time. And Misty's kind of standing there, and she goes, huh, he really does care for his Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I was like, and that's the first time I was like, ah.
So she's falling for him.
She's getting smitten.
Yep. So, but yeah, we finish off the episode, as you were saying, with Beedrill flying in front of Misty. Ash puts Metapod in his backpack and not in the Pokeball.
Which
I want to add.
Why do we even have these Pokeballs? Like, what the fuck? It is a Pokemon. It can't do anything, but it is a Pokemon.
But yeah, we end up ending this episode with Ash saying that there's more Pokemon to catch. They run off into the forest, and the episode is to be continued.
Yep.
And that's when we are going to get into episode for Challenge of the Samurai, or in Japanese it was translated Challenge of Butterfree, which, I mean, I guess you can kind of put two and two together as what happens to Metapop. So, but yeah, we will get into that episode next week.
Yes.
And I'm just going to throw it out there only because we do this segment every week, but next week's episode took place on September 11th, and obviously we all know what happened on September 11th, so we will not be covering doing a history on next week's episode.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
So it will be just a who's that Pokemon, maybe some casual talk, and then we're straight into the episode. And yeah, we're not far off from when Brock is going to be making his very first appearance. So Brock makes his first appearance in 2 more episodes.
Yeah, and then, that's, pardon me, that's the set.
Yeah.
That's the trio.
So yeah, we're making our way down this big intro, but I mean, this was a great episode, and you know what? I like this. I'll get you, Pokemon.
I don't care for it.
Still not a fan?
No, because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the tone.
I kind of want to watch this Japanese version with English subtitles just to see if there's some evil tones throughout this episode. Just to see if Jesse and James were like, yeah, we're going to get that Pokemon. Maybe we'll make some Caterpie stew.
I don't imagine that's good.
Hey, I mean, it could be. I mean, it's a bug.
You're making soup out of a bug.
Yeah. I mean, third world countries, man.
This isn't a third world country.
No, it's a Pokemon world. I mean, for God's sakes, Ash thought that Professor Oak was eating his Krabby in one episode. So, I mean...
This is true. This happened.
But yeah, that was the third episode of Pokemon, and it's nice that we're getting down this trail, and I'm enjoying these. These are really fun to reminisce.
Yeah, and we're getting better show-wise.
We're starting to get the groove of this thing.
Yeah, we're getting these nailed down, I would say.
So, but yeah, I don't think that there's anything else to really say. I guess we can say the big events in this episode was that Ash caught a Caterpie and a Pidgeotto. His Caterpie evolved into a Metapod. So Ash is doing well on his Pokedex. I mean, even though in the first episode he didn't catch many Pokemon or none at all, but he's making his way down, and this was the first episode where we saw a Beedrill as well.
Yeah, we did for a minute.
So
the world is getting fleshed out.
Yes. So we're good. We'll get on into the next episode next week. So do you have any final words to say about this episode, Doug, or any memories that you want to share or anything?
This is my favorite one so far out of the 3.
Episode 1 being right behind this one because you didn't care much for episode 2, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be really interested when we're done with the season to see which one is my favorite. Because you're only working.
I have my favorite of this, but my favorite is episode 38 because it makes absolutely no sense.
Oh, good. Good.
Well, okay, it's the Porygon episode, and we're going to have to watch it in Japanese, of course, but it's the infamous episode that gave a lot of children seizures, but the premise of the episode just makes no sense.
I didn't get into the show to read. I might skip that one.
Oh, come on. That's a big episode. But, I mean, you have Ash, Misty, and Brock basically get computerized. Okay, fine. We won't get into it now. But that's my favorite episode. It'll take you about a year to hear that review. But, yes, that's my favorite episode. So... I have other ones, but that's my favorite of season 1.
Right.
How many episodes is season
Oh,
one?
we looked that up the other day.
It's 82 episodes.
Yeah, it's a crazy number.
So, damn, they were almost in the syndicated TV land just from season one. Holy crap.
Well, that it also helps when you're daily.
Yeah. So, all right, but yeah, that's our favorite episode so far within this season. We'll see how episode 4 treats us next week and see if we like that one as well. But I guess we can go ahead and walk off into this little sunset. So say goodbye, Doug.
Goodbye, Doug.
And my name is Wrestling Chris G, and I want to thank all of you. If you want to listen to a different podcast, which is totally different, we do a separate one called Sports Entertainment Breakdown. You'll be able to find it within these feeds. I'm not sure how I'm going to put these feeds up yet, but you'll be able to find us on there. We talk wrestling every single week, WWE and AEW. Just giving a little shout out there, but other than that, my name is Wrestling Chris G, and I would like to say have a good night, everybody. And it was nice talking to you, and I will see you next week.